Pope Francis dies at 88, the final days of a pontiff who refused to slow down. The Pope is gone. Not the words you expect to hear first thing on a Monday. Yet on April 21st, 2025, the world stood still as the Vatican confirmed Pope Francis' death at age 88. But before we continue, please subscribe, like, share, and turn on the notification bell for more updates. The cause? A cerebral stroke that led to a coma and irreversible heart failure. But if you think this was a quiet fade into the background, you haven't been paying attention to the man who redefined what it meant to lead with humility and grit. Let's unpack the final chapter of a papacy that never stopped moving, even when the body said otherwise. A stroke, a coma, and a final farewell. Here's what we know. Francis was discharged just weeks ago after 5 long weeks in the hospital battling double pneumonia. A brutal fight for anyone, let alone an 88-year-old with chronic lung disease and a history of partial lung removal. So why was he smiling and waving from the Pope mobile on Easter Sunday? Simple. He was that guy, the kind who'd rather spend his final day blessing strangers in St. Peter's Square than curled up in recovery. But behind the public grace was a body nearing its limit. The next morning, a stroke sent him into a coma. His heart followed. Could he have taken it easy? Sure. But would he have wanted to? Not a chance. From hospital gowns to holy ground. Let's rewind. February 14th, 2025. While most of us were stress-eating chocolate, Pope Francis was admitted to a Roman hospital for what began as a respiratory crisis. That turned into double pneumonia, deadly serious. The man spent 5 weeks fighting it off. He returned to the Vatican on March 23rd, determined to recover. But here's the thing. You can recover from pneumonia. You can't outrun time. And yet, the real story isn't how he died. It's how he chose to live. On his feet, in the square, among his people. Doesn't that make you wonder what mattered most to him at the very end? Legacy in motion. The Pope who never sat still. Even critics admit Pope Francis broke the mold. He wasn't just a figurehead. He was a force. He made phone calls to strangers, carried his own briefcase, and ditched the bulletproof limo for a battered Fiat. His health may have failed, but his message didn't. Compassion, simplicity, action. And in the end, he died doing exactly what he loved, showing up. So what now? What will you do with this moment? Pope Francis' final appearance, smiling from the Pope mobile the day before his death, wasn't a swan song. It was a challenge. To show up. To lead with heart. To keep moving, even when it's hard. How will you show up today? Share your thoughts. Remember his legacy. Or better yet, act on it.